Hey everybody, welcome to the PAX floor. This is Nevin, and I am joined today by Garrett Cooper, the lead developer on Black Ice, which is like an FPS hacking simulator by way of neon craziness or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a cyberpunk hacking game. You're in the future hacking evil corporations. You're getting like Diablo-style loot. So I call it like kind of Borderlands meets Tron.
Sounds pretty crazy, and I say it sounds pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. So what I'm really curious about is how this project came together, because it's a pretty unique idea. I'm curious about how you started working on it and what some of the more surprising pieces of inspiration were.
Okay, yeah. So when I had moved out to California for a job a while back, and I didn't have any friends there, and my friends were like, well, you should try out Unity and like see how that goes. And so I just started playing around with that. I started with like a puzzle. I built a little 15-tile sliding puzzle, and then I looked at the Unity assets and it was like, oh, first-person character controller. And then I just, all of a sudden I was standing on top of this puzzle. And so I then just kind of built the game up from there, and the puzzle's still in the game, actually.
Yeah, I saw that when I was playing before PAX. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, the puzzle was there, and I just kind of kept going, and I just had ideas. I was like, well, what sort of art style can I do? Because I'm not like a traditional artist sort of thing. And so I was like, well, I can do like lines, neon, and colors. I like that. So that's where it came from.
It was just one thing after another, kind of a natural evolution?
Right. Yeah, and also I, because it was all neon and cyberpunk, I was like, well, let's see, like, how do I do like a good cyberpunk thing? And I'm like, well, I thought back to Neuromancer and Snow Crash and all those things, and yeah, so it's Gibson-esque, I guess.
Just a little bit. So I know that there's some story in here somewhere. What can you tell me about the story?
Well, we're just getting started on that. What it's starting with is that you get an email and it's like, hey, like, I know you like lost your job and you're like a good like programmer, like maybe you can like hack this and get me some help. My daughter, the company's not paying for her to, her injuries, and like let's go and get this fixed. And so then you start, and then while you're starting like do your command line hacking, another hacker sees you and it's just like, whoa, like you're gonna get yourself killed doing this. You need to go back and do the real way that you really hack, which is blowing up spiders in cyberspace with lasers, obviously.
It's perfect, yeah, it makes perfect sense. How much focus is there actually going to be on the story in the game? I've seen in the build that you guys have around here, there's like quests and stuff like that. How much of it is side quests, main story? What can we expect?
Well, I mean, we're still just getting started on that, so I don't know like that much. So a lot of the quests are going to be like just trying to show you like, hey, like there's this weird part of the world that you should go and check out. Some of it's going to be like, it might start a random event, like there might be like a convoy of things going across that you have to try to intercept and stop. And then also like, just to propel you through like, hey, like how can you find out more about things? So you'll have to like go through certain areas for that. And we have aspirations for procedurally generated quests where you might have a, like, hey, I need to go and hack this thing in order to help this guy out, and then he's going to help me with this other thing, and then I can go and do that part. So that sort of thing.
That's pretty crazy. You mentioned different areas of the world, and I was talking to, I forget his name, but he's like Nona Decimal on Twitter. And you were planning on having these different like biomes and different areas with various mechanics. What can you tell me about that?
Well, we've got the base levels here, and of course we're still learning and starting everything, but I have like a lava zone now where all the buildings are partially submerged into lava and you have to jump across the rooftops in order to fight. Yeah, so that's like just an example of something quick. But, yeah.
Okay, cool. What has it been like to create, air quotes, physical representations of cyberspace and software?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, what's nice about it is because it's software, I can explain away a lot of video gamey things pretty easily with that. Yeah, and like a lot of the old books describe cyberspace as being based on old video game technology anyway, so it fits pretty well that way. So it's a lot of fun.
You mentioned that this is kind of a loot game. There are a whole bunch of different weapons and power-ups in the game. What facets of those are sort of procedurally generated, and what facets are handcrafted?
So there are uniques that are handcrafted. They still have like randomized stats on them, and the stats can do interesting things like make the projectiles ricochet off of walls or pierce through things, or you might get, let's see, there's some more simple ones that's like chance to crit and that sort of thing. But yeah, there's all sorts of different stats. It's kind of Diablo style in that way.
Out of all of them that you've made, including the weird, crazy disco death ball, which are your favorite tools that players can find as they play?
My favorite tool, okay. The teleport is a really nice one because you can get a little bit of. It doesn't teleport you instantly. It's actually like a very fast like run forward, and you can use it to get like interesting momentum things. You can sequence break with it in order to get out of the valley. Even in this demo, nobody's done it yet today, but we'll see.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Those are all the questions that I had. If people are interested in following Black Ice or Super Duper Game Company, where can they find you?
We're at blackicegame.com or superdupergc.com. Black Ice is on Steam. If you just Google Black Ice Game, you'll find me.
Awesome. Thank you again for your time. Hope you have a great PAX.
Yeah, thank you very much.